Welcome to this tutorial on Colour-Tramp RDM. Colour-Tramp RDM is a Windows program that allows you to visualize RDM data in 2 dimensions. When you start the program, you will see this grid, and that's going to be the starting point for the visualization. A couple of important things to mention first. Look down at the bottom of the screen and you see this tab here that says RDM. That tells you you're running the licensed version of Colour-Tramp RDM and that you have the DIN key, the USB key, plugged in. If it says demonstration version down here, then you have not plugged in the USB key or the driver is not installed, and there is an application note that guides you through how to resolve that problem. The other thing to say is that you must run Colour-Tramp RDM in administrator mode for it to operate correctly, and again there is a application note to guide you through how to do that. So I have 6 RDM devices connected to this network. So let's first of all go up to the Tools menu and select Network and have a look at the ArtNet menu. You've got network status, but probably the most important thing to start with is the NIC selection. Here you can select the network card that is actually connected to your gateways. You need to do that before anything else is going to work. Having done that, go back to Tools, Network, and take a look at View Network. This gives you exactly the same view that you would see in our sister program, DMX Workshop. And you can see here that I have a gateway connected, and on output 2 of my gateway, which is a Netlinks quad, I have 6 RDM devices connected. The RDM devices are actually Howden Lab Pack development responders, which are great for this tutorial because they can show sensors in fault conditions. So you can dive in here and take a look at what's going on. All of the information is available here, but obviously it's not very useful in the sense of the layout of an installation. So let's close that now and move on to the visual representation. So if we go to the Layout tab, we have a number of layout wizards. Let's take a look at the rectangular wizard. Here we can say that we just want a very simple grid. Now, you can have very complex grids that mimic the physical installation that you want to monitor, but in this instance I just want to use 6 columns. So we'll run through all of the options here and hit apply and close. And we've now got 6 boxes on the screen. We'll briefly go into the layout editor, hit the select cursor, select all of those and expand them to give us a nice column so we can see all of the available data. Once we're happy with that, turn off the layout editor, and we're now going to press the Diagnostics tab here, which is the one that we're really interested in for looking at the RDM data. You can see here that we've got grayed out boxes which are telling us that there's no associated RDM data or RDM fixtures. To fix that, we need to set up our RDM fixture patch. So we go back up to the layout menu and we bring down the fixture list. Here you can see the 6 Howden Lab Packs that we've got connected, and to patch them visually you click on each one and you'll notice that the fixture is actually identifying here, so you can click and say, oh yeah, that's the one that I want to patch this location. So we'll patch that one in. You'll notice they disappear from the list as we patch them, which makes it a lot easier to see what's going on. So all of the fixtures on the list are now patched, and we have this multicolour display. So what's this display telling us? Well, the colour of the display when you're in diagnostics mode tells you quite a lot. If it's green, everything's happy. If it's red, there's a problem. If it's yellow, there's a warning. If it's grey, you've lost connection. And if it's purple, there's a mismatch between key data such as start address and personality. So if we look at this second item here, we can see that it's saying sensors errors reported, and it gives us this information. This is just a summary. It's not really giving us a lot of detail, and it's not immediately obvious what is wrong. To dive down into the really useful information, click on the RDM data viewer, and this gives you a lot more information. As you select different cells, you'll see that the RDM display changes to show you what's going on. So here, the first sensor, which is called VT1, is responding with 12 volts, but you can see that the fixture is saying that the normal operating range is between 23 and 25 volts, which is why it's declaring an error. If you go a little bit further down here, you'll see that this sensor is declaring 1 milliamp, but because the fixture doesn't actually define what the acceptable range is, it's declaring it as a warning. And then if you look down to this final sensor here, which is intensity, it's saying 73 candelas, and it's not showing any warning or error because it's within the acceptable range of 10 to 150. So that's really how you dive down into the important information about the fixtures. At this point, all of the cells on screen are showing that they are matching the physical settings of the start addresses in the fixtures because we don't have any purple displays. If I right click on this fixture, go to properties and select patch fixture and change the start address to 10 and OK that, we'll see that this immediately goes to purple, and the reason is that the start address is programmed to be 10 but is reporting back as 8. Now this is a really useful feature in two ways. First of all, it tells you if somebody has inadvertently reset a start address or perhaps replaced a fixture and neglected to set its start address. But it also allows you to set all of the start addresses in Colour-Tramp RDM and then automatically refresh that out to the physical addresses. And that is done as follows. If we go to set fixture parameters, we can say, first of all, set the fixture pipe and start address. We're going to start with pipe or universe 1. We're going to start with channel 1. But we want it to automatically program the physical device start address. And we can also say that if the device isn't reporting its footprint, i.e. how many channels it uses, 2 use 3 or 4, depending on the size of the fixture. So if we press OK now, we should immediately start to see changes. And you can now see that we've got matching start addresses here because it's automatically reprogrammed the entire installation. So that's a real labor saver on a big installation. Another key consideration on large installations is remotely monitoring the RDM data. And Colour-Tramp RDM allows you to do that via email. To set that up, first of all, go to Tools and to Preferences, and you'll see under Internet there is a selection for outgoing mail. You can see here that I'm using an AuthSMTP account to send email. Set up all of the parameters here and close that. Then the next thing we need to do is set up a macro. Let's double click on macro 1, and the macro allows 6 different lines. First of all, let's give it a name. We'll call it Send Diagnostics. And let's go into line 1 and scroll down, and we want to send an RDM diagnostic email. You can see here that its arguments are to and subject. I'm going to send it to myself. And I'm going to give it a subject of RDM Diagnostics. And let's OK that. Now, if I right click on that and press execute, I will receive an email with the current settings of all of the RDM data. You can go further than this and set up conditions. And if we go to the conditions here, let's set up condition 1. And let's set that up as a real time. We're going to call it Daily Diagnostics. And we're going to have it trigger macro 1, because that's what we've just set up. And we're going to set it up so that it sends us an email at midnight. So let's apply that. And now we have a condition and a macro that guarantees we will receive a daily email telling us about the status of this installation.